Welcome to UK Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yukai Kechidori.
Hi, and welcome back to another very special episode. And with me today is a dear friend all the way from US talking about how to turn your website visitors into sales, not only leads, but into sales, so that you increase your bottom line. And with me is Brandon Leibowitz, who has been helping business owners for quite some time. In fact, Brandon has a story. Straight from college, he went on to work for a company and discovered that the next phase of success will not happen for anyone without a very good website that converts. He then went on to create a company that helped business with websites that converts. In fact, he was working on SEOs, which has provided enormous knowledge that he is now actively sharing with a lot of people on how you can get any website visitor to convert into leads and into sales, into that money you need to have. Well, welcome back to the show, Brandon, and thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to share some tips about SEO and how to convert them into clients.
That's awesome. You know, we were talking earlier on, and you were sharing with me a little bit about your journey, which I think is important that people understand where you're coming from before they can, say, I want to work with Brandon. Please share your story, what it's been like, and some of the successes you have created for your clients.
Yeah. After I got my degree in business marketing from college or university, I got my first job working at helping out a company with pretty much all aspects of their digital marketing, helping out with SEO, social media, doing email marketing, doing some paid ads, taking pictures of products, kind of doing it all for them. And back then in 2007, I kind of realized that everyone's probably going to have a website in the future, and SEO is a way to get free traffic. Everything I mentioned definitely works. Paid ads, social media, email, it all works to get traffic. I just really focused on SEO because why pay Google or any of these platforms if you can get up there for free? So that's really what I've done over the years, working at different advertising agencies and working in different mom and pop shops and Fortune 500 companies and kind of everything in between, and helping them out, getting more traffic, trying to just tap into that never-ending supply of free traffic that Google's willing to give out if you do the right things. And that's helped out with e-commerce companies. I've seen one of my clients in the past where they were on that first page of Google, but they're at the bottom of the first page of Google, where they're getting a lot of traffic, but not as much as they really should. Whereas when we did some SEO or optimize their website and fixed it up and tweaked some of these backlinks and all the technical aspects, got them to that top position where it really shot their traffic up. Because if you have to think about it, most people don't really scroll down. Most people aren't scrolling down on Google to the bottom. Unless they're looking for something very specific, you're losing out on that traffic or that visibility. People aren't really going to find you. So got to be at the top is really what matters. It's getting that top rankings and getting that top traffic and keeping those rankings so you could just keep that traffic coming from Google.
Indeed. One thing that I know for a fact, having had several websites, is if you don't position yourself right, you may have the right product, you may have an excellent product for that matter, but if you don't have people coming to it, your chances of getting sales are very slim. You probably will be depending on referrals, your friends and family, but to get people who are searching for your product will be far and less for you to do that. So knowing how to do this is what we're going to be focusing today. So if you've got your pen and paper, you may want to do that. Maybe you're driving, you may want to take note of this conversation so that you can come back to it later on and implement what you're going to discover. Brandon, you have worked with some amazing companies, amazing individuals. Give us just one example, perhaps, of somebody who came into your organization and requesting for your assistance. And what sort of time frame did you get them results?
Yep. So one time I had a photographer client that was a local photographer and trying to rank for wedding photography and things like that. And looked at the website, made those tweaks and changes, got them up on like Google Maps, on Yelp, which is really big in the United States, getting them up on Yellow Pages, MapQuest, Bing Maps, Yahoo Maps, all these local places, just trying to get as much visibility and exposure out there. Because the more places that Google or the search engine see you on, the more trust they're going to give you, and that results in higher rankings. And by doing that, was able to get them on Google Maps, get them up to the top of Google Maps for wedding photographer in Los Angeles, which brought in a lot of traffic, and also getting them up in the organic results with the website listed there as well. So trying to take up that free real estate, because Google is going to give you a lot of free real estate on that first page of Google. So it's just trying to take advantage of it. Images sometimes show up in there, videos sometimes show up in there. So I optimized all those and hoping that they appear, but that's all kind of random stuff where Google kind of picks and chooses if they show that stuff. But really the maps is always at the top, pushes organic results down. So you're capturing more people there because people don't really scroll. So got to be at the top, and people will see the ads at the top, but they'll skip over the ads usually. And then they get to the maps if they're looking for a local business, and that usually generates a lot more traffic than even ranking number one organically for that keyword, because the maps are just at the top and people don't scroll, is what I've learned over the years.
Indeed, people don't scroll. I love that you started talking about one action that anybody can apply right now in your business, to get people to come up, which is the Google Maps. Talk to us the really ins and out of that. How do you do that?
To rank higher on Google Maps, you have to fill out all the information. So when you log into Google My Business, it's going to say, write your business description, all this information. And if it says 5,000 characters and you only put 2,000 characters, you're missing out on space that you could put text, because Google feeds off content. The more text you have, the easier it is for them to understand what you're about, because they can't really read images or videos yet. They're getting better at it, but they still struggle. So they feed off content. Fill out all that information till you can't write any more text in there, and do that for all the areas in Google My Business. And then once you upload your images, because it also asks for photos, make sure you name those images with keywords. Don't just upload the image 001.jpg or whatever it is. Name it with descriptive words, because Google can't read images, but they read the file names. And putting keywords in there, like with the wedding photographer, I put wedding-photographer-Los-Angeles.jpg. Or another one, I put wedding photography in Los Angeles. Or another one would be Los Angeles wedding photography, because you don't want to put the same thing. Then you're just competing against yourself. You're cannibalizing your results, and you just become your own competitor, which you don't want to do. So you got to name all your images. That really helps out. But the bigger thing is consistency of, it's called NAP, name, address, phone number. Google wants to see that your business name, address, and phone number is listed across the web, but it's accurate, because if Google sees that your phone number is slightly different, it throws them off. They're just a robot, and they're going to get confused and say, which one is your phone number? We don't know. So you're losing that trust. So consistency is really important, but it's tough if you change locations, if you change business names, if you change phone numbers. You got to change it across the board on every website. Otherwise, Google's going to confuse. So they want to see you on as many different directories as possible. The more third-party sites that they see you on, or map sites that they see you on, the more trust they're going to give you. Like for myself in the United States, we have the Chamber of Commerce, which is kind of like a big thing, or the BBB. You join the BBB, or Yelp, or Yellow Pages, or MapQuest, or Bing Maps, or Yahoo Maps, or all these other maps. The more maps you're on, the more trust Google has, because you have to think, like if you're a doctor, like you could be a dentist, and Google sees that you made a Google My Business and you created a Google Maps listing for your dentist, but Google's like, how do we know you're a dentist? Because we don't want to send people to your dental office and find out you're not there, that you're actually scamming people or tricking people. And that's a bad user experience for people going on Google. You'll be like, I went to Google, I searched, I went to the directions, and I went there and there's no dentist there. So Google, to make sure that you really are a local business, wants to see that you're on all those other maps. The more maps you're on, the more Google's like, okay, maybe you really are a local business. We still don't fully trust you, but we see that all these other websites are talking about you, and that builds up that trust. And the biggest thing is reviews, not the number of reviews. That does not matter at all. Having more reviews than your competitors doesn't help you at all. it helps out from a perspective of the person. Like if I'm searching and I see you have 2 reviews and your competitors have 200 reviews, I'm going to trust 200 reviews over 2 reviews. But for Google, they're not looking at that. Like when you search on Google, you might see that position 1 might have 1 review, position 2 might have 20 reviews, position 3 could have 200 reviews. What matters is the keywords. Keywords in the review are so very important.
Right.
If somebody mentions that you're like the wedding photographer, if they just say, great, they helped out, they were so amazing, very friendly and nice, that doesn't do too much. If they say, I live in Los Angeles, I was looking for a wedding photographer, I found whatever company, and they got me to, and they took great pictures of my friends, my family in Santa Monica and Malibu. So you're hitting all these different keywords, locations, that moves you up so very quickly. But it's tough. You can't really ask people for reviews. But if you know someone is going to leave a review, you could be like, hey, can you just throw a keyword in there, like what service you were offering or what location you're in, because that moves you up so quickly.
Indeed. It's interesting that you start talking about review, because we recently started actively, requesting reviews. I had another incredible gentleman on the show not too long ago, and he said, if you can actively ask for reviews from your happy customer, especially just after they use your service and they're happy, they will give you a great review, and you can direct them. You don't give them words to say, but you can direct them of the things that they could, could mention in your service, and they'll be able to do that. So I love what you've mentioned there. So for those listening for the first time, thank you for joining us. I'm talking to Brandon, who is a master when it comes to SEO for your business website. And if you want to convert your leads or your visitors, website visitors, into leads and then into sales, you're in the right place, because you're discovering what works. And already we've covered one aspect. Let's talk about the second secret that you wish people would know when it comes to ranking their site and converting those visitors into clients.
Building backlinks is the most important thing for a website. Is getting Google to trust you. Just like I was talking about with the maps, Google's not going to trust you. Google doesn't trust any website. They don't trust anybody. They look at everyone and it's just like, all right, we see that you built this website, but how do we know you are who you say you are? Because too many people have tricked us over the years. So what they want to see are other websites talking about you. The more websites that talk about you, the more trust Google gives you. And then Google looks at the keywords on your website to figure out what to rank you for. But it doesn't work the other way around. You have to be building backlinks, and the backlinks, you have to be careful, because if you build the wrong type of backlinks, instead of ranking higher, you're going to drop down in rankings, which is the last thing you want to happen. So the backlinks are really tricky. Google's whole algorithm started based off backlinks, and it's still based off backlinks today. It's changed how they look at them over the years, but it's still primarily based on getting backlinks, getting other websites to talk about you. The biggest thing, though, is getting quality backlinks. And what is a quality backlink to Google? Quality backlink is a website that's related to you. So if we go back to like the wedding photographer or photographer, if they get other websites that are related to like photography or weddings or lifestyle, anything somewhat related to them, that's what matters. If I give them a backlink for my website, for my SEO website, that wouldn't really make sense. It's going to be like, why is an SEO company giving a wedding photographer a backlink? You need relevant websites. That's the biggest part of that puzzle, is finding niche related websites and getting them to talk about you, getting them to give you a backlink, which is kind of tricky, but that is the number one most important part of SEO, where probably 80% of my day is spent building backlinks and building relationships with other websites to potentially get them to give me a backlink, whatever needs to be done, whether it's writing an article, doing a press release, becoming a sponsor or a vendor at an event where they'll list you there, joining directories like for your local business, joining local chambers and things like that. But it all just depends on what type of business you are, and that tells me or what types of websites we need to track to link back to you, because that part is so very important. If you build the wrong type of backlinks, you're just dropping down, and that's the last thing. And then, yeah.
Indeed. I appreciate you mentioning about the backlinks. For any business owner maybe who is on a shoestring budget, they want to have this back. They know what you have mentioned, that this is important. What can they do now with what they have, to get them started on building these backlinks?
Yeah, the best way to build backlinks in 2022, the safest way is, again, getting niche related websites. You want related websites to link to you. So what I tell people is go into Google and search for your keywords, see who's on that first page of Google or the first 5 pages of Google, and start reaching out to these websites and building relationships with them and potentially seeing if you could write an article for them or whatever needs to be done, but potentially blogging on them because you're an expert in your industry and you could share your knowledge with other people in your field. And by searching for your keywords, maybe not your competitors are not going to say yes to you, but like if you're a wedding photographer, you can find other photographers in other states, other cities, other countries where you're not direct competitors. So just have to just be realistic. Your competition is probably not going to link out to you, but you just got to get creative and find sites that are related to you. It doesn't have to be exactly what you're doing. Just as long as it's somewhat related, that's what Google wants to see, is just the relevancy is such a big part of their algorithm. And blogging on other people's websites is a way that you could do it. You have to write a blog post, which takes time, and you have to write a unique blog post for every website. But that would be the best way if you could do it on your own. It is a little tedious. You got to have to email a lot of people and build a lot of relationships. But if you already have relationships with people, like if you're a wedding photographer, you might know event planners, and event planners plan out weddings. That's where you could reach out to them, and you're not direct competitors with them. And you could say, hey, I want to give you an article about how to find a good photographer. And they more than likely would want to post it on their website or their blog because it's going to help their clients out, find a good photographer. They can refer you to them, and it just really helps out. But it's all about relevancy, and blogging is probably the safest, easiest, quickest way to do it on a shoestring budget and get those results that you're looking for.
Indeed. One of the things, just to add on that, which I've seen working for us, is being featured on other people's podcasts, just like Brandon is doing. I have had the stories of people who have gone on to be guests on other people's shows. And when those shows write an article about what you do, and then they link that article and that audio to their website, they have got all these amazing traffic coming through. So on top of what Brandon has shared there, and if you love what we do, or you enjoy listening to other people, and also you want to be on other people's podcast, do reach out. You can build backlinks that way. Have you had any experience with this, Brandon?
Yeah, no, that is a great way to get backlinks. And I actually started a podcast a couple years ago because I saw my competitors were getting backlinks from all these websites, and I was like, all right, I've already taught classes. I've been teaching classes since 2013. So I have tons of content out there. I was like, let me just throw it up or take it in and create it into a podcast, and got out on like Spotify and iTunes and Google Podcasts and Stitcher and iHeartRadio, and all these places will give you backlinks. But the biggest thing is like what you said, like getting on like a podcast like yours where you actually post it on your website, because getting a backlink from iHeartRadio or Stitcher or Spotify, they're all no follow backlinks. They don't really count for SEO as much anymore. And it's not really related to me. Like Spotify is not related to an SEO company, but finding podcasts that are similar to what you're doing, even if it's not exactly what you're doing, as long as it's somewhat related, that's what helps out. And then Google sees another website talking about you, and that backlink helps out for SEO. But yeah, it's all about getting creative and trying to think outside the box. Do you want to blog on a website? Can I do a podcast? Can I be a vendor like at trade shows? If you sponsor trade shows, they usually have a list of all the vendors on their website that sponsor those events. That's another way to get backlinks, but it's all about just trying to think outside the box and look at your competitors. There's too many tools out there that you could use to look at backlinks from any website, like Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush. You have to pay for these tools, but they'll show you all your competitors' backlinks. And one by one, you could start looking at where they're getting their backlinks and trying to get those same backlinks, because that's going to be the best one. And that probably would be the starting point for any business owner, is also doing that in conjunction with the blogging, because you could buy one of these tools for $100 a month. You throw all your competitors in there, see all their backlinks, download those reports, cancel that tool, and then one by one, you can start reaching out to those websites. And that's going to help you save money and not have to spend a ton of money and time, because these websites are already linked out to your competitors. They're more than likely going to link out to you. They just don't know about you. And by you building that relationship, it's going to get them to know about you. But with the competitors, though, you have to really understand offline and online competition. Just because you think or know that you have competitors, if they're not ranking on that first page of Google, that's not your competitor online. Online and offline is very different. And all the time, clients come to me, here's my competition. And I search on Google. I'm like, none of these people show up on the first page of Google. We don't care about any of them, even though Like you might be a wedding photographer and Amazon might be showing up on there, or Wikipedia, even though that's not a competitor of yours. If they're on that first page of Google, that is your competition. And you want to study what they've done, what keywords are you utilizing, what backlinks are you utilizing.
Indeed.
Like
Brandon, you've nailed it. I love what you say. Invest in £100 or $100 in the US dollar, of course, into those softwares and get access to this information. It will pay several times over back to you. So love that. As we are coming toward the end of our time here together, we talked about the Google Maps and the backlinks. Is there another thread strategy you hope business owners that should take note of, or maybe tell their team to work on?
Content is so very important. You got to have good original content on your website. But unfortunately, none of that matters without the backlinks. That's why backlinks are number one, because you can make all these changes to your website. You can make the perfect website, make it load in half a second, make it perfectly optimized. But without the backlinks, Google's never going to rank you. But once you get the backlinks, then Google's going to go to your website and try to figure out what keywords are you targeting. And this is where you need to put the right keywords in the right places. But content is so very important. Having good original content on every page on your website that you want to rank for. So if you don't have content on those pages, Google can't really read images or videos yet. They're getting better at it, but they still need text. The more content you have, the better. And usually it's about 400 words of content per page that you want to rank for. That's just the average. But it's not really one size fits all. It really depends on your competition. Who's on that first page of Google? So I always tell everyone, just go into Google, search for your keywords, see who's on that first page of Google, open up all those websites and see how much text they have on that page and average it out. Does everyone write 100 words on average? Then you only need to write 200 words. If everyone's writing 2,000 words, maybe you need to write 2,500 words, because the more content you add, the better. But you only need to add as much as necessary. You don't need to just write 5,000 words if it's a basic question. That doesn't really make sense. Like, it's got to make sure it relates. And by looking at your competitors and seeing who's on the first page of Google, you kind of see how much content they've been employing, because if it's working for them, it's more than likely going to work for you. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, I don't want to put 400 words or 1,000 words of content on each page on my website. It's going to make it look really ugly. But you have to have that balance. If you want Google to give you those rankings, you need to put that content. And I always tell people, just throw the content at the very bottom of your page. You don't have to have it at the top, because again, most people never scroll down, which is weird, but you have to understand, like, most people never scroll down on your website. If they do scroll down, most people never scroll down to the very bottom, which you have to think about. When's the last time you scrolled to the very bottom of the website? Sometimes you do, but the majority of the time you're not scrolling down. But Google reads from top to bottom, and they'll see that content. Just don't hide it. Don't put font size 0.001. If your website's white with the white font, that's where Google's gonna penalize you. Say, what are you doing? And you're trying to trick us. And Google knows all the games. Like, Google's been around for way too long. They've seen all the tricks. So don't trick Google. Just put that content there, and that is going to really help out a lot. Like, content and the backlinks are the two most important things for SEO. Backlinks get the trust, and content helps Google understand what keywords you're targeting.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Just go make it happen. These things do sound simple. Like all things in life, they look simple, but it's only when you apply them, you take action. If it's not you as a business, I know how busy you are. I get it. But get somebody to really look at this for you so that they get done. While you work on your business, you need somebody to work on your tools so you can focus on that income generating aspect of your business. But get somebody to do it. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us here. And I know you have an incredible agency there that is helping people, and would love people to come over and see if they can either work with you or maybe you can teach them how to do that. I know you teach people as well how to do this. Where can they find you?
Yeah, so everyone listening, I created a special gift for them. So if they go to my website, seooptimizers.com/gift, they can find that there. And the way you spell it's the US version. So it's seooptimizers.com/gift. So US spelling of it. But if you go there, they can find all the information and the gift I've created for all the listeners out there.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I had written it in English way of doing it, and I'll be searching for something else. But thanks, man, for being here on the show, helping my audience learn how to do it right. And we truly appreciate your generosity in sharing with us what works today. And final words are for business owners here who maybe struggle because of the recent pandemic. I know it's over now, but as an entrepreneur, what has kept you going despite all the pushbacks of the economy, the health sector, almost everything, really?
Yeah, it's just trying to adapt and adjust and trying to just figure out what to do, because a lot of my clients at the beginning were local businesses and had to shut down, like restaurants and things like that. And unfortunately, they never reopened, and it's just kind of sad, but it's all about just trying to think outside the box and just trying to figure out what could be done. But big thing with SEO, though, is patience. Like, a lot of people are just like, I want these results now, or yesterday, I want to be ranking on Google. But unfortunately, with SEO, it does take time. That's why paid ads work. You pay Google, you'll get up there immediately. You stop paying Google, you just disappear. But that SEO, it's that slow, natural growth where just you got to keep working on it. Just like you said with the podcast, it takes time. It's not just an immediate overnight success. I mean, some people go viral, but you have to build that up and build it up and just keep working at it and be persistent and don't get discouraged, because over time it will keep growing. It just might have some road bumps. It might have some hiccups, but along the way, you're going to see over time, it's just going to keep moving in that right direction and just get that positive momentum that you were looking for.
Love that. You've got to adapt. Well, thank you so much there, ladies and gentlemen, for being here with us today, learning what it takes to convert the traffic into, first of all, to rank over there, and then how to convert your traffic. Brandon, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Hopefully we can have you again on the show sometime in the future.
Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come. And goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening to UKAI Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.ukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.